please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps with the algorithm. The darkest of plots are conspired at night, by candlelight, in the seclusion of places no longer visited. But I'm getting ahead of myself right now. Let's start simple. Westfall had one gold mine that provided the Kingdom of Stormwind with its required gold. But that wouldn't last for long, because the First War started, and the mine became abandoned, being overrun by a pack of ogres led by Turok and Griselda, the daughter of Blackhand. In the mine, a tome of great importance for the clerics of Northshire Abbey would end up some way. So Sir Anduin Lothar would go to recover the Tome of Divinity and bring it back to the clerics. Unfortunately for him, he would be captured by a band of ogres and held captive for 20 long months. Now, of course, some historians speculate that there might not have been any connection between Turok and his band of ogres and those that captured Sir Anduin Lothar. Poppycock. This theory is nothing more but revisionist rubbish that exists because ogre bodies were found on both floors of the mine. Nevertheless, Sir Anduin Lothar would be rescued and he would bring the tome to the clerics. As for Griselda and her lover Turok, they would meet their end as Ogrin Doomhammer was ordered by Blackhand to dispose of the rebellious ogres and his treacherous daughter. Said and done. And just like that, the mine was abandoned once more. The First War would end, and so too would the second one. These wars left the Kingdom of Stormwind and its capital in disarray and ruins. But now, with the orcs in their proper place, the kingdom could start and be rebuilt. King Varian Rin would marry and sire a child. Stormwind, the city, would be repaired and everything was looking up. But one thing nobody expected was that Lady Katrana Prestor would convince the nobles not to pay the stonemasons that rebuilt the capital. Of course, the workers did not take this lightly and spoke out against this. The first that took charge was the guildmaster himself, Edwin Van Cleef. This infuriated the House of Nobles, and they threatened to disband the guild. Of course, the Mansons were enraged by this, and they started a riot, throwing rocks at the nobles, including their king and queen, hitting their queen in the head, a queen that was there and trying to keep peace and make sure the riots stop, leaving King Varian Rin a widower and his son, Anduin, an orphan. The anger and sorrow of the king were swift and powerful, as you might be able to imagine, and so the Masons were driven out of the city. They would flee to Westfall and settle there until things calmed down. With support from Lady Prestor, Edwin Van Cleef, the former guildmaster, united the Masons and formed the Defias Brotherhood, turning the honest stonemasons into thieves and bandits. They would make their headquarters in the same mine that Sir Anduin Lothar was captured in, the Deadmines. But don't take the Brotherhood just as a band of disgruntled workers, because more and more outlaws, outcasts, joined their ranks, and they all shared a deep hatred for their kingdom. They would not be the only ones. Van Cleef would work alongside Lord Gregor Leskovar, a high-ranking member of the House of Nobles, and a man with a desire to see the end of Stormwind. Van Cleef wouldn't stop here. He would hire goblins to create harvest golems and the Riverpaw gnomes to act as thugs in Westfall and the surrounding areas. One unfortunate day, the armies of Stormwind were sent to fight the Horde. This was the moment the Defias acted. They took control of almost all of Westfall, and even expanded into Duskwood and the Elwyn Forest, specifically in the vineyard of Northshire Abbey. The plan of Van Cleef was to take the defenseless Stormwind, thinking the city would fall instantly now with the army gone. But don't think that the people of Westfall would just take this betrayal lying down, this conquering. No. Geron Stoutmantle and the remaining populace organized a people's militia to fight against the Defias Brotherhood and their expansion. In the meanwhile, Van Cleef planned to create or rebuild an ogre juggernaut from the First War with which to take over Stormwind. Somehow and some way, the Defias leader manages to make an agreement with the Bloodseal Buccaneers. They receive pirates to bolster their ranks. But don't think this expansion lasted long. No. Near Northshire Abbey, the kobolds employed by the Brotherhood got dealt with quickly, and so too did the ringleader of that place, Garrick Padfoot. Next on the clearing list would be the Fargo Deep Mine and Jasperlode Mine, who will also see their population of kobolds decimated. The Warlock Coven in Stormwind would be found to be working for the Brotherhood and would be removed from the city in the manner you would expect. These setbacks would be manageable, if not for Van Cleef losing his seconds in command. First, Basil Ted would be captured and sent to the stockades. Second, Morgan the Collector, the ringleader of the whole Elwyn Forest operation, would be slain. Let's go back to Westfall. Things weren't looking that good for the People's Militia. Jara needed to call in a favor from Willie the Black, who once worked with the Brotherhood. Since Willie owed his life to Jiren, he told him everything. That the Brotherhood controls every mine from Elwyn Forest to Booty Bay, that they have a secret plan and weapon to destroy Stormwind, and that the Brotherhood, well, is made up of the former Stonemasons Guild. Matthias Shaw, the spy master of Stormwind and leader of SI-7, would confirm this, since he was a childhood friend with Van Cleef. Nevertheless, Stoutmantle still needed more proof, despite what both Willie and Matthias said, that Van Cleef is behind this operation. And this proof would come eventually in the form of a Defias messenger that got orders directly from Van Cleef. The message he carried was as good as proof as any of the involvement that the former guildmaster had. Later on, a Defias prisoner would decide that his life was more important than his cause and give away the location of their hideout to the People's Militia. An assassination order would be released for Van Cleef, so the Deadmines were bound to see bloodshed once more. But you can't reach the boss without going through his thugs and underlings. First among them was Rakzor, an ogre that was the foreman in charge of the construction operations. The ogre would meet his end when Jarius Bloodvein and his pirates would invade the Deadmines, so he could get revenge on Van Cleef for killing him and stealing a girl he fancied. Next we have everyone's favorite feed and seed owner, Sneed, and his goblin shredder. This little green fella was the lumbermaster. He would share the same fate the ogre did and die at the hands of Bloodvein and his pirates. Gilneed the smelter would be the one in charge of the smelting operations. Obviously, just like the previous two, This little goblin was at the wrong end of the pirate's sword. Following our list, we have none other than Mr. Smite, a Tauren pirate flanked by 2 strong men. This old bean is the first mate of Captain Greenskin. He is pretty sadistic, liking to toy around with his victims, making them believe they have a chance to win against him. Thanks to the color of his fur, many presume he is part of the Grim Totem clan, yet there is no confirmation of that. Mr. Smith here, or Smite, alongside the following members of the Defias Brotherhood, would meet their end at the hands of adventurers sent to kill Van Cleef. Next is Cookie. Cookie is the cook of Captain Greenskin and Van Cleef. How does a Murloc get such a position is indeed quite a mystery. Much in the same way the ingredients for Cookie's seafood surprise are a mystery. One best left unsolved. Next we have Captain Greenskin himself, who doesn't go anywhere without his 2 guards. Poor Captain Greenskin would have sailed the Defias Juggernaut straight into Stormwind, and do what any normal and well-adjusted pirate does: loot and plunder. But that dream will never manifest itself. Captain Greenskin, much like his first mate, will end up dying on the Juggernaut. And finally, we have reached the star of the show, the one and only Kingpin of the Defias Brotherhood, former Guildmaster of the Stonemasons. The man with so much hatred in his heart, he didn't realize he became the villain, Edwin Van Cleef. As you can expect, one of Stormwind's biggest enemies found his end at the hands of adventurers. His head would be taken as proof to Jaren to present the success of the mission. Everything looked bright in the Kingdom of Stormwind, and this was considered to be the end of the Defias Brotherhood. But that wouldn't be true, and the Deadmines didn't see their last share of bloodshed. But that is a story for another time.